today I want to go over some favorites that encompass a lot of different areas. I had already filmed, was in the process of editing and all of that, a mid-year freak out, and I just wasn't feeling it. Let's put it that way. I just didn't want to tell you all of that right now. I really want to save as much as I can for the end of the year. And so I think I'm just gonna save my favorites, my least favorites, stats, all that kind of stuff for the end of the year. And we're gonna just go over some different kinds of favorites today. So today's tea is blackberry sage. It's this one. I buy this about once a year, and it's very expensive. It's expensive for me anyway, for a tea, for something that disappears. So I only buy it about once a year, maybe twice at the most. If I'm lucky, I get it in my stocking at Christmas. So it's one of my favorites, but this is the one that I'm sipping right now. And that's a little preview of some favorites that we'll be talking about. So let's go over some that don't really fit into any particular category. I drive, I want to say it's like a 1997 or 98 Honda Accord. That's my car. Her name is Chica. And when we moved from Texas, we drove Chica from Texas to Idaho. And our corgi is a hairy monster. She sheds like nobody's business. Somebody asked me the other day if she was a long-haired or short-haired, and I just said she's haired. She's just hairy. That's all there is to it. And she sheds constantly. And so my little Chica was just covered in dog hair. And while I was on my Tennessee trip, my husband very kindly took Chica out for a little bath and interior detail as well. And so she is all clean and sparkly, and I love it. The vacuum marks are still on the carpeting in the passenger seat and all of that. So just really, really happy with that, and definitely a favorite. Makes me happy every time I open the door to get into her. Some other things that don't really fit in any other category is I have been getting messages from my grandkids. And so I got this one, which he got a little bit of water on, so it's a little smeared, but this is from my grandson Jonesy, and this is Lala and Jonesy. I love it when he wants to give me things. It's just the sweetest. So I got this one, and then this one is from my granddaughter, Sparrow. She wrote a little smiley face on the back. And so those ones, and then also my niece is 16, and she is a reader, and we've really connected in the last year over what we are reading. And so she's text me about what she is reading, and I'm just loving it. When I look at my phone and I see a text from her, it just makes me so happy. Let's talk about some foods that are really making me happy. I have a balcony garden for the first time this year, and my strawberries have been going crazy and I love it, and my husband loves it. He goes out and looks for fresh strawberries every chance he gets, and just immediately pops them into his mouth. They never make it much past the doorway. And then I just harvested the basil. I left plants out there so that we could get more basil later, but I just harvested the basil and it is now pesto. And I got just a little under a pint of pesto and split it into different containers so that we could just use a little at a time. And we made a gluten-free pasta the other night and had that. Anyway, it's just been fun. A few other teas besides the blackberry sage that I already showed you that I have been loving lately are this one. This is Bigelow Perfect Peach, and it's, let me see if I can find the ingredients. So the ingredients are rose hips, hibiscus, spices, natural peach flavor, orange peel, lemon peel, apples, roasted chicory root, and more peaches. Perfect peach, and it's really been yummy in like a midday kind of time. And then I told you guys not too long ago about Harney & Sons African Autumn, and this is my favorite iced tea. And so there's usually a picture of this in the refrigerator right now because we have been having very, very hot weather, which I don't mind. I actually really like it, but this has been so refreshing. I'll put a little graphic of the ingredients from this one up on the screen because I can't read them very well. And then lastly, also one I have talked about is the green kombucha from Yogi, and this one is my morning go-to right now. This one has passion fruit and plum along with the kombucha, and it's delicious. Another thing that I made recently that my family absolutely loves, it is not my favorite, but it makes me happy because it makes them happy, and that is watermelon salsa. So I make watermelon salsa with just a mini seedless watermelon, and then pretty typical salsa ingredients. So it does have onion in it. It does have cilantro, and then I put nectarines in mine. And so it's watermelon, nectarines, lime, cilantro, onion, and jalapeno. And they really do love it. I am not, if something isn't supposed to be sweet, or I don't think that it should be sweet, if I think it should be a savory flavor, like salsa, I don't want the sweet. And so, and I'm also not a huge watermelon fan. I like the flavor of watermelon. I don't like the texture of watermelon. But because everybody is just like, yeah, Mom made watermelon salsa, it makes me happy to bless them. And so that has been bringing me joy. Another thing is it's smoothie season. Once we started hitting the 90-degree weather or above, I started making smoothies. And one of my favorite greens powder to add to my smoothies is Paradise Greens Auric Energy. And this one specifically, they have some other greens powders, but I don't find them as palatable as the Auric Energy ones. And they're gluten-free, they're vegan, and they are a high protein, and really good enzymes and all of that to help you digest all of those proteins. And so it's just a wonderful additive to my smoothies. And my favorite smoothie right now is to do a blackberry cherry and the Auric Energy Greens with some hemp milk and either frozen bananas or just ice. It's so, so yummy. So those are my go-tos right now. I just absolutely love them. So let's go on to talking about some games that I got to play and that I have really been loving. When I was down in Tennessee, years and years and years ago, my kids introduced us to a game called Dixit. And it's these art cards that you are dealt at the beginning of the game, and you choose a word that represents one of those pictures on the card, and you lay it face down and you say the word out loud, and then the others around you have to choose a card that they think represents that word also, and they hand it to you, and then you lay them out by numbers, and then you have some number tiles, and everybody in the group flips over their number that they think is the one that you laid down. The object is to make sure at least one other person chooses the card that was yours, because it's not to fool them. It's not to get nobody to choose it. It's to get at least one, but not everyone to choose it. And so I got to play that with my family when I was down in Tennessee, and it just completely renewed my love for it. We've gotten expansion packs for it and everything, because it is just such a fascinating, fun, easy game to sit down and enjoy in an evening. Another entertainment thing is that when I was with my oldest daughter in Tennessee, I got to watch My Neighbor Totoro for the first time, and I just loved it. It was so sweet and just absolutely precious. So I got to watch that. And then my husband and I, several years ago, discovered Phil Rosenthal's Somebody Feed Phil. And we have been working our way very slowly through season 7. I think we're on episode 5, maybe, of season 7, and just found out that it was renewed for an 8th season, so we'll have more to watch. Music. Both of these songs and artists are people that my oldest daughter introduced me to when I was in Tennessee. With everything that has gone down in recent months on BookTube, and even in the world as far as assassination attempts and all of that kind of stuff, both of these songs oddly are about grief in a way, and they just really have spoken to me and blessed my heart. And so I will tell you about both of them. One is by Daniel Seavey, and it's called The Older You Get. And if I can, I'll overlay a little bit of it here so you can hear it.
Life's going good, but you wonder what's after. Cause dad's moving slower and time's moving faster. You hug a little tighter and you say the things you never say. Guess that's what happens. Sometimes the kiss, it goes away, sometimes it don't. So now when your mama calls, you always pick up the phone. And you talk a little longer, cause tomorrow is not a sure bet. Oh, 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 that's just the way it goes.
truth from someone so young. You could tell that he's just gone through a lot. And then the other one is by Mariel Craft, and it's called Good Grief. And again, I'll try to overlay some of it so that you can hear what it is and what it's about.
This is goodbye to a bad thing. This is goodnight to a bad dream. Losing something I wasn't meant to keep. This is better, but it feels worse. This is healthy, but it still hurts. Becoming who I'm supposed to be. I'm losing everything but me. This is good grief.
I don't really like much else that I've heard, but this song I really, really like. And then let's talk skincare. So this is a recommendation that I got from a friend in Korea, and I never would have tried this on my own because it looks so gimmicky. But because I trust her, and she was just delighted with how her skin was feeling as a result of it, I went ahead and picked some up. So these are kojic acid and turmeric cleansing pads, and you can see those there. And they're available on Amazon. I think they were $9.99 for 40 of them. They are just packaged so strangely, but nonetheless, they're wonderful. Another thing that I didn't bring in here with me, so I will put a picture up on the screen, is my sunscreen that I have been using. And I just really like the way that my skin feels with it. It's a mineral sunscreen, and it is from Naked Sunday, and it is SPF 50, and it's face and neck. You know, it's not an all over sunscreen, and it's slightly tinted. Makeup goes on well over the top of it, and I just really like this sunscreen. My husband actually has the same thing. It's just tinted enough to let you know that it's there. It doesn't go on white. I think that's about it, you guys. I hope that you really enjoyed this, and I would love to know some things that are making you happy right now, that are sparking joy, that are just elevating your happiness. And I would love to hear those things. I like to share these things with you, but I also really love to hear from you. All right, that is everything. So I will see you again very soon with another video. So like if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to.